So, can you tell me what might be either your earliest memory or maybe your the first memory that you think of when it comes to your early cooking?
I would say that maybe not the earliest memory, but the most pivotal point for me with cooking and where I felt like my, where I was inspired or where I felt the most like this is what I want to do, was back in quarantine, and I was living in Kansas at the time, and didn't have a whole lot to do, and there was some folks online that I was following recipes with, and I just thought that I could do that too, and I got all kinds of time on my hands, so I went ahead and made a lot of recipes that I found that I was excited by, and got to share them with my family, and I even made little videos while I was doing it, so they're still documented somewhere. But my mom was incredibly encouraging of that, and she would ask me what I was planning on cooking that next day, and that was pretty much the entire time I spent in quarantine, was just finding new recipes that I'd not tried before. And then by the time that we moved here to North Carolina, she signed me up for an online cooking class, I was definitely the oldest person in that. There was a bunch of kids that were on that class with their mom, and I felt a little out of place, but I learned a ton. It's kind of hard to do without being hands-on with an instructor, so the online format isn't the best, but I feel like that initial push from my mom and just having so much free time is what got me really into it, and it sort of just snowballed from there into where I am now.
So you went from doing the online class and doing it for fun to culinary school. What led you to want to make it a career?
Well, my first job was at Well Bread Bakery in Weaverville, and I definitely felt like that was the place for me. I really enjoyed getting to serve people and be involved with cooking some more meals, but I was finishing up my high school degree, and I was dual enrolled with AB Tech's classes, so I was on the pathway for an Associate of Arts. That felt like the most like it made the most sense for me at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to get some college credits under my belt early, and my advisor was giving me some suggestions, and I told her what I was into and my new job, and she mentioned the culinary program, and it wasn't something I had considered as a pathway for me, but there was the Serve Safe class, and I had seen how one of my managers at my job had their Serve Safe certification, and I knew that it would be valuable for me for future career opportunities. So I figured, why not add that into one of my semesters, since it's an online course and I can finish out and have a certificate by the end of it. And so my advisor told me that to do that, I would have to add that as a second program that I was taking. So it sort of happened by accident, because I wasn't initially planning on taking the full culinary arts program. It was just going to be that one certificate. But I really enjoyed the class, and I took that in the summer. So by the time that we were getting into the next semester, I figured, well, I'm already ahead on this, and I have some of my gen ed classes, and I love cooking, and I know that this is a highly regarded program. People talk about it a lot, and so I went ahead and jumped right into it. And yeah, the culinary arts program was everything I dreamed of and more. There was so many opportunities. Within the first couple weeks, I had made tons of friends, and I grew up homeschooled, so there was not nearly as many places like this for me. Like I had some like extracurriculars, we'll say, but being at AB Tech, like you can make friends in classes when you're taking the Associate of Arts pathway, but when you're in this program specifically, you see the same people every day, and you have lab partners that you work with, and you have running jokes with classmates, and there's a sense of like team building that it has, and I don't want to go as far as to say family, but I definitely feel that way.
So you graduated with your culinary arts degree last year, and you stuck around and completed your baking certificate this year. What has the experience been like in the baking program?
Yeah, certainly. So my experience is a little bit unique because I wasn't fully committed to the baking certificate until kind of the last minute. I finished the culinary arts program and thought that I would be done and I'd tie it up in a nice little bow and leave AB Tech. But I had considered taking the certificate because there's still a lot more to learn, and baking is a whole other world. I would like to consider like culinary is more of an art form because there's a lot of freestyling and tasting as you go, and there's not necessarily a wrong way to do something, it's just a different way to do something. And sure, there is lots of formulas and ratios that you shouldn't mess with, but a lot of it is about just throwing stuff at the wall until it sticks, you know? With the baking certificate and the baking program as a whole, I think of it more of a science, because there is a wrong way to do something, and there very small changes in your recipe, whether it be slightly less of a leavener, or maybe you add a little more sugar because you want something sweeter, they can throw off your whole piece that you're working on, and it can definitely affect it in more ways than in some of the cooking classes that we take. And I knew that with my time on the team, and how I had worked on being organized in my classes, that I could do the sciencey side of it, and that would be up my alley, because I like the precision, and I like the organization and having your mise en place, and baking is it's encouraged to have your mise en place and have your recipes dialed in exactly how they need to be. And another reason why I took this certificate is so that I could compete again. I wanted to be enrolled in a program or a certificate still, and that way AB Tech was able to support me through my time going on as Student Chef of the Year. So those are a couple reasons why I jumped into it, and I got a lot out of it. We had a very small class, and it had a couple of my friends from the culinary program that also decided to carry on and take the baking certificate. So I already had some folks that I knew, but because of the smaller class, it meant I got a lot of feedback directly from my instructor, and I was able to ask a lot of questions, and it just felt like more intimate and more one-on-one time learning specific skills, and I can make a damn good croissant now. So I feel like that alone felt like it was worth it. Just learning how to make laminated pastry, and learn how to like get up early and have everything ready by 9 o'clock, because we do a AM market window for the Thursday productions, and there was still a lot of opportunities to be creative, because you get to fill your croissants with whatever you want, and you get to make all kinds of muffins and scones, and that's where you get to flex that muscle, you know.
So last year you competed with the student team of the year and was team captain. This year, you're competing as the student chef of the year, a team of one. How has this process and the experience been different?
Yeah, great question. So, being the captain of the Hot Foods team for 2025 was something that I was very excited to be responsible for, and when I was given that opportunity, it sort of felt like it was falling into place before the title was given. Like, my other teammates were like, it sort of seems like you're taking on that role, like you're showing up earlier than all of us, and you're helping in more ways than people might expect. There is sort of an administrative side of being the captain with like paperwork and making sure that we're all organized and everyone is receiving the same information, and that opportunity to be the team captain set me up for my current job in a very real way. I'm managing at Chai Pani, which is a James Beard Award-winning Indian restaurant here in Nashville, and it is great to have that experience with a small team, and then now being responsible for a much larger group of people. It feels like it definitely wasn't as scary having that team management under my belt. But going into student chef of the year, it is very like self-driven, like you have to be the one that's telling you, let's go do this, like I feel like I'm motivated by people in a lot of ways, in different facets of my life, and having something that is almost entirely self-driven is hard, because I want to do well for other people, and it's okay if like my room's not super clean, like no one's gonna see that, or it's okay if certain things aren't the best they can be when it's just for me, because I want to give other people a great experience, or I want to be a good helper, and it's hard when it's just me, but it's something that I knew that I needed to work on, and in some ways I am still doing this for other people, like my coaches, and I'm helping the team in little ways when I can. But yeah, it's very different, and it's a lot of fun. Being on a solo competition, it's really just like, how can I optimize every single thing that I do so I can make this awesome menu in this very small amount of time. And when you're on a team and you need to shave some time, you kind of just have to think about like, oh, well, if we all can save 1 minute, that's 5 minutes off our time. But when it's just you really got to pick up the pace, and you got to make sure that you're using your time as best as possible. So it's very different, but all the things that I learned from being on the team are directly applied to how I compete for Student Chef of the Year. So I feel like that it has built on itself in a really beautiful way. And yeah.
If there's one thing that you've learned from culinary school that you've been able to apply everywhere else that you've gone since you've been here at AB Tech, what might that be?
Wow, that's a great question. Yeah, I feel like that the culinary program, it opens up a lot of opportunities. I feel like some folks might expect that getting a culinary degree means that you're destined to get the job that you want. It's a resume builder. It's something that puts you above other people when you're looking for a new job. But I don't necessarily think that that's always the case. I think that the thing that I've learned from culinary school is started that thought with a little bit more.
Is there a technique?
Maybe a technique, yeah.
Or, something that you heard one of your chef instructors say that just kind of keeps recurring, kind of coming back?
Yeah. I think that the skill that I've taken from AB Tech and the culinary program that I apply just about every day in my life is time management, and learning how to work with other people and put your best foot forward. I feel like that just because of the format of the class and the limited time that you have, whether it's in the culinary program or the baking certificate, you need to be prepared and set yourself up for success. I feel like that I've gotten better with paperwork outside of class and making sure that I'm on time there. I'm more organized in my day-to-day, whether it's in my career or even in just my home, or doing small projects for like friends and family. Like making a dish at home is way different now, and that's because of the thing that you'll hear every single day that you're at AB Tech Culinary. You gotta have your mise en place, you know, and everything's in its place. You're ready for the day, and yeah, that is a very, very helpful skill, and I think that lots of people could use it. But above all that as well, I feel like that the connections that I've gotten through AB Tech and the friends that I've made and the chefs that I've learned to know, like those are incredibly valuable for my life and have pushed me forward in more ways than I can express.